Round of Android Netrunner. Oh, first things first, how y'all doing? I hope you've all had a good few days. I don't know if y'all have had the chance to watch Metropole Grid's Fight Night stream, but my god, that's so cool. I'm inspired to try out some of the corp shenanigans that I saw coming out of JANKier from there. Stuff that I daydreamed lousy versions, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's how you do it. Oh, that's how you do it. Oh man, that's so cool. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to the day where everybody is on the most broken stuffs and you can't play Bits and Breakers Netrunner because everyone's using broken stuff. But then again, that's kind of how this game always is going to play out, right? Some people will try good stuff and crazy stuff, and then you have to come up with crazier stuff to beat the crazy stuff, and then it all rotates back, and eventually you can just win by playing good old fashioned Netrunner. And anyway, good times, good times. It's not like there's a meta warping brokenness right now that prevents you from actually just playing. Okay. But we're not here for any of that. Today we are going to go back to the Shaper, and I'm going to tell you a little story about how we got to this day and my spark of inspiration. And then we're going to see if we can't put pen to paper and build Captain Ahab and go hunt the whale, and we'll go from there. So to begin with, I have been posting the card of the day on Reddit, and I came across a spark of inspiration and tried to evaluate its value and didn't actually comment very much because in my mind I couldn't really see the value per se. It's so expensive up front to search for something that may or may not be of any value. You could absolutely play this, pay 3, search your deck, get a 0 cost SMC, which is just awful. Further, if you're playing Woo and this is searching for programs, it's a huge non-bow. With Woo, you probably are trying to find programs some other way. Now, you can always make a bad deck worse by going all in on your bad ideas, but Spark of Inspiration was definitely a solution in search of a problem. Enter the thing it solves, the whale. An orca costs exactly as much as Spark of Inspiration is giving you, and is exactly as big as and is exactly the type of program, a program, that you are able to install and tutor. So logically, the point of playing Spark of Inspiration is to get an orca. Well, you can't guarantee an orca's on the top of the deck. In fact, if you search Netrunner DB, you'll find there's only one way to do that, and that is, apart from lucky shenanigans with Blueberry Diesel or whatever, the only way to really get something to the top of your deck is test run. So if you test run for 3 to put an orca into play, use it, drop it to the top of your deck, and then Spark of Inspiration that orca into play, now we're making savings. Except are we? We just paid 6 credits, 2 clicks, and 2 cards to play a 10 credit card. That just does not make any sense financially and combo-tastically. Now, you can always add bad cards to make your good cards even more or less bad, but that doesn't actually usually result in a good deck. It can result in a fun jank, but not a good deck. Okay, so we have this thing brewing of hunting the whale. And then the next things that I looked at were Basilar Synth Gland, and because again, posting card of the day, and this one I really don't know what to make of. On the one hand, 5 clicks a turn is just straight good. It's broken even. It's fantastic. Not broken. It is the single strongest 1 credit install you'll ever get. So 2 core damage seems like a really small price to pay for that kind of tasty. And yet, if you look at the vast majority of Shaper decks, including the World Tree, which is popular, and a bunch of other, no one's using it. Why the hell would you use a 1 credit hardware that gives you an extra click? Is 2 hand size reduction really that big a deal? And the answer is that thanks to ontologic dependence out of HB and Murder JANKier, actually core damage is more scary and more givable than it's ever been, and that's a problem. It makes this card less safe. And Caldera, which is brain damage prevention for 3 credits, is clunky and influence heavy, and comboing it together is not. So you can partially address the core damage problem with another good card that's bad, or bad card that's good. You slap this down, take a meat damage, and suddenly you now have +2 hand size neutralizing the 2 core damage. Notice that these are both cheap hardwares. So they're not going to get trashed off of a standard tag and kill your resources nonsenses. They're not going to suffer program trashing. They are in there, they stay there, they're good. And that's when the deck came to me. Now, I don't know if it's good yet, but I know it's fun because the theming is too perfect. Why would I need a 5th click? Why would I need a 5th click badly enough that I would include this card even with that drawback and maybe choose not to install it? Well, Shapers always want an extra click, don't get me wrong, but what would really push it over the edge? While also answering the question of how you can build a Spark of Inspiration deck that doesn't need to stack an Orca to the top because it's always got the Orca. Well, obviously, you don't even need me to tell you that the Orca goes with the Endurance like peas go with carrots, right? It charges it breaks sentries sometimes, I guess, and that's really it. But all your opponent has to do is not res sentries after your Orca's out and trash 1 or 2 sentries, and boom, the Orca is just sitting there doing nothing. Somehow we've got to get our Orca to break things that aren't sentries. Enter the linchpin, cool idea of the deck, Adjusted Matrix. Adjusted Matrix will turn our sentry-breaking killer into an AI. And once it's an AI, it can use a click to break a sub, which means that you can now bioroid your way through any ice with a big whale. And since you can bioroid your way through any ice with a big whale, you can gain a charge counter, which you can use on your boat if it's too expensive. So again, we're not going to use this for the 5 subroutine, 6 subroutine ice. We're just going to endurance through those. But if we're dealing with a 1 sub ETR, okay, Orca breaks it, and read the fine print. Host Icebreaker gains interface lose click breaks up. Not you may bypass it, you can temporarily ignore it. Not Adjusted Matrix has this ability. It gives it to the Orca. And because it gives it to the Orca, boom, baby, now our Orca does it. Okay, now let us be very clear for those of you who are starting to either think broken or cheaty-faced or good or whatever. This is a bad idea. This is a classic case of we started with bad cards and we added more okay cards to make our bad cards good, and we would be better off doing something else. All right. Anyone who's looking to take this to a tier 0.5 Win Worlds tournament, don't. There are nasty things that can happen to you. Now that those people have left the room, Captain Ahab is going to hunt his whale, damn it. So we're going to need some whales. Now, I think I can close these windows now, right? I think I've made my point on the cards here. Let's close now. Now, before we get too deep into the jank tank, whoa, what am I doing? Before we get too deep into the jank tank, there's an obvious, yes, thank you, calling it out. Oh, here, Baramu, way ahead of the game. We playing Poison Vial here? I don't know what our influence is going to do, but I really want to. Poison Vial, for those of you who haven't been following every possible Parhelion follow-up, which I don't blame you, there's a lot of them, is basically peas and carrots to the Adjusted Matrix. When you break a sub, you spend a power counter and break 2 more. Now, it does not combo with the Orca. The Orca will not trigger if you Poison Vial your way through. But it does say, instead of spending 2 endurance counters, spend 1 click and 1 Poison Vial counter. So now, if you're using Captain Padma's charge and Orca charge, you can recharge a Poison Vial for double the value that you could charge an endurance counter for. And endurance charges itself, so it's not going to run out. But on the flip side, it's kind of painful to put counters on this if you're not dealing with a 3 sub or higher ice. You don't want to use it on a 2 subber because you're not getting your value. 2 subbers are enduranced. 1 subbers don't need any help. 3 subbers are the sweet spot for this, and 4 subbers you're missing a sub. So I'm definitely thinking about it, but I haven't started spending influence yet in my head. Other big thing that this deck clearly obviously needs is Emergent Creativity. Now this is a 5 pip card, which is horrible. But we have 3 endurances, which can be scrapped from hand to search our deck for an endurance and get it down instantly. Or if we find the endurance and hard install it first, we can scrap a spare endurance to find the other whale. Or if we draw the whale, we can scrap the whale from hand to draw the other whale. In other words, if we don't spark of creativity our whale, we can immersion creativity our whale. And it does so while making money out of the thing that we otherwise would be taking dead space in our hand. It's a really good card, and even if we never use it to set up our rig initially, we can still use it for our 5-cost mod, search it out, and boom, slap that on the whale. I am initially going to make this a 2 of. I might have to sacrifice this because 10 influence is prohibitive, but that I think is too powerful to ignore. I don't know if we're on 3 sparks or 2. We want to hit the spark of inspiration. We don't actually want to hit the whale, but we want a spare whale in case we hit the whale by mistake. I don't think we have a way of putting it back in our deck. If we double draw whales, we're kind of hosed. We have to pay 10. I guess in that situation, we just discard a whale to emergent and get an endurance or something. It's not. It's a bad situation. What's that card called? That the Creative Commission, I think. Yeah, Creative Commission. We definitely want money in this deck. So we've got orcas, we've got adjusted matrices, and we've got endurance. We can probably go down on the number of adjusted matrices now that I think about it, because we never want to see this card early. We never want to see this card mid-game. We don't really want to see it till mid to late. Turbine. You know what? The thing about it is we actually have lots of MU to work with. I mean, look at it. We're using 6 MU for 2 MU program. The problem is everything program we add makes Spark of Inspiration unreliable. How much would we be upset if we Spark of Inspiration to K2CB Turbine out? Oh, wait, non-bow. Once we put the adjusted mod on it, it becomes an AI icebreaker. So that actually would make it, yeah, that would stop. It would stop working as our deck got going. We can't K2CB Turbine. Good thought, but we can't K2CB Turbine this guy. The one that I really want to include is Flux Capacitor. I wanted to slap that on R&D and be like, yeah, bro, all day, whatever you want. I'm just going to keep going through R&D and getting 4 counters per run. 1 from the whale, 1 from the boat, 1 from captain, and 1 from Flux. That's just insanity, but I would never want to install this 0-cost program. That would be too painful. What else? We need money. Money is tasty. We need more money. We need diesel. Diesel is tasty. Do we go with the Singleton of Earthrise? I don't know yet. We'll get back to you on that. Harmony AR Therapy. Do we need a recursion of money? Not necessarily, but not necessarily not. We don't actually have a win con yet. Do we? Into the Depths. We're getting in. We're charging cards. We're installing nothing. So we need 2 of its 4. I mean, a charge and 4 credits is still very decent. I don't have a win con, Ba. I don't have a win con yet. My win, and that's a problem. I think we need to import a win con, and it can't be a program. See, that's the restriction I'm giving myself. Whatever I do cannot be a program. So how do you win without programs? I mean, we're Shaper. We would want to conduit and just lock R&D. This guy could help. This guy and twinning could help both. We don't have recurring credits, but we're charging things like crazy, right? So we can charge the Wake Implant off of non-HQ runs. Yeah, there you go. We can charge the Wake Implant off of non-HQ runs, boost it up. In other words, we run HQ once, and then we Captain Padma the Wake to 2. We Orca the Wake to 3, and we get in, and Endurance charges itself, and boom, suddenly it's a 3 access. Or better yet, we sit on it and we always leave 1 counter, so we never have to go back to HQ. Unless we're getting into HQ, in which case, of course, we just murderize HQ. I mean, there's a win-win-win scenario, in theory. Take an additional turn. Is that good? No, we're not gaining value on each run. It's not good. We don't get to have a console because we need endurance like crazy. We do need the Orca. Maybe we go down to one emergent so that we have more influence to play with. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff we're missing out on it right now. Oh, Beth, yeah, we definitely take those. We need recurring money like anybody's business. In fact, let's just look for that right now. We are looking for anything that makes us credits, not programs though, in faction or in neutral. Cyberdelia. Cyberdelia is tempting because I'm definitely breaking ice, but it's not tempting because it's 3 credits to get back one at a time. I don't know that I'm running hard and often enough to make it valuable. Dedicated processor goes on a non-AI, so it's not helpful here. Deuces is eating influence. Ooh, DreamNet! We take those. Yes, we're absolutely running often enough to justify having a DreamNet. Let's take one of those for sure. What else you got here? Environmental testing. Well, we're building counters, so maybe. I'm not going to find 3 credits to install this, though. If it was 0 credits to install for 6 credits game, then I'd go for it. But 3 credits is too much. No. Although this is tempting since no one uses this, but no. There's reason no one uses this. I don't have a lot of cheap installs. I think because it's money, I'm taking this. I don't know how many, but 1 for sure. The reason, for the record, that I'm so concerned about getting money is because this Orca costs 4 credits to break an ice, unless it's a small ice. So you're gonna be running out of money often. And I feel like the best way to win games these days is have enough clicks and credits to just go in there and wreck your opponent's board. Go in there and test that remote server. Click through the Bioroid. Click through the what's the Thule tax. Click through the whatever is in your way. I think an overclock might not be a bad call. Do we want a Paul's Cafe? No. We're not making temporary credits that we can spend, so no, just no. Proco. We're not going to have 5 credits to install that anytime soon. TechWriter, we are only installing 1, 2, 3, 4 things, so not really. Simul chip to get back the Orca? No, if you've ever had to retrieve your Orca by a Simul chip, you've already lost. I have been told the math on Artist is bad, unless you're cheating it in somehow. I think that's probably true. We're only ever using the first ability, and click for 2 credits is going to mean that in 2 clicks we've refunded the price of installing it, which means I could have been +3, but I'm instead at 0. In 3 more clicks after that, I would be at +6. So yeah, so it breaks even after 6 or so clicks of investment, not counting the card draw. This is a painful uphill, and we're not like playing late game lockout. Telework, on the other hand, is a fast Armitage, so that's tempting. I'd go with an Armitage here. What do we got now? What are we at? 35 cards and 2 influence left. What are we missing? Card draw is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we should actually pay a little more attention to these. Build script costs influence, so that's a negatory. Algo trading, environmental testing, first responders, flame out in the group. Flame out is interesting. No, it's not. It's not. We're building to something that stays forever, not throwing it away immediately. 10, 5, no runs. That is a tempting setup card, but it takes influence, so I'm less excited. The first time you turn a successful run on R&D ends, you may gain 1 credit for your time you execute on R&D. Ooh, that's tempting. That's really tempting. That's a good question. Let's take a peek. How many events are we running that cost money? We got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, can go to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Jesus, that's a lot of events. Yeah, I think that's a sale. Um, and this opens us up to twinning if we want it, but I don't think we want to go twinning necessarily. I like the PPVP. Let's throw it in. If I got this early enough, like if I had an opening hand with hedge fund and this in it, I probably credit install hedge fund. That would be really nice. And then for the rest of the game, it's roughly 1 credit per turn if I'm playing 1 event per turn. This is also a deck that I think I can think about Ephemeris and then get rid of him later, because Steve would love to run HQ every turn. And I think there's another Gmod, right? Is Omar Kung in this thing? Omar Kung is not a Gmod. Never mind. Omar Kung would have been pretty slick. What are the Gmods? It doesn't matter. If there's a singleton that lets me get through oh, you know what? You know what we can do with our influence? We can actually afford the poison vial. Yeah, why not? Let's totally experiment with the poison vial. It's just a little over influence. DJ Fenris is a little bit roll greed. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a little bit roll greed, but it does sometimes mean you get 4 credits per HQ run. Because if you look at my average event, I have 3 gambles, I've got 3 creative commissions, and I've got an Into the Depths, I've got Dirty Laundry with a cheapie. I'm able to trigger it very often. I think I gotta keep it. And Poison Vial makes it. This helps me get in. This rewards me for getting in. This rewards me for getting in and gives me my only multi-access of the game. Maybe a jailbreak is smart. By the way, while we're just doing stuff, let's go ahead and throw in the mandatory tech card. If you're not going to have any passive tag removal, you'll be very sad in this meta. I think a deep dive potentially as a game closer is not out of the question, but it's probably not. I probably never have the money. Maybe a Nuke of Royalek to help me draw 2 Dream Nets, so I make sure I actually find the darn thing. Do we go down to 1 emergent creativity? Is that what I'm saying? How much do I need emergent creativity? I do, though. I want emergent for the Orca. I want emergent for the endurance times 6, and I want emergent for the adjusted matrix. Like, it literally finds me my rig. Spark emergent means pay 3, 5, 7, and boom, you have your whole rig. I think I'm talking myself out of Poison Vial, but I don't want to talk myself out of Poison Vial or Wake. They're both so good. Can we just get 1 more influence? Is that like allowed? Can we just run 16? No, we can't. No. That would have been too nice. The correct answer probably is just drop the Steve. Yep. I love it. Yes, I mean, that's probably the correct answer. Because again, yes, I'm arguing that it means I get money every time I run HQ, but here's the thing, I'm already getting money every time I run HQ, and lots of it. I don't have any, oh god, they killed my one of, I'm dead, circumstances otherwise. Poison Vial, it's more important to get in than it is to be rewarded extra for getting in. So yeah, we're gonna... I can lose an emergent creativity. If I do, I'm slowing down my setup. That's a bad idea. I shouldn't do that. So let's get rid of it. I might change my mind and nix the Poison Vial, but let's see how the game goes. We also want Basilar Synth Gland, and we want it early. And we also want Hippocampic to counter the loss of hand size that makes me vulnerable to kills from every faction that kills you. Hippocampic has a nice side effect that I can just draw a few extra cards, throw a charge counter from Captain or Orca on it, and have a 7-card hand size. Eat your heart out, taggies. As long as you're not bouncing my Endurance and Orca, I'm happy. Did I put Nuka? I have to put Nuka. Did I put Nuka? Yeah, one of. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards that draw me cards. Oh, wait, we just hit 45. All right, we're going to ignore the first 5 selections. If I can skip 5 of these, it means that my deck is okay. Nope, don't need it. Don't need it. Wouldn't want it even if I could. Can't use it. Banned already. This is promising. I've flipped through a lot of the things that they're offering me, and none of them are making me think, oh, I need that one for the deck. And I love that test run is not required here. It's tempting, but in that situation, I would probably run Conduit and keep the Wake because it's the same cost, and it kind of feeds more into the I'm just going to keep running and just keep locking you out attitude. Which I'm hoping that this is. I'm hoping this is a 1-card big rig, but we'll see. Kind of wish I could put Scrubber in this, since I can't put. If I could put 2 Scrubbers and a Steve and Nixon Emergent Creativity, now this handles the one matchup that I'm bad at much better. Now I can go deal with wide decks a lot better because I have 4 recurring credits to trash stuffs and a passive tab removal when it comes online. But I think for now, when you're building a jank deck, you can't expect it to perform well against everything. You have to accept that it's just going to be bad at some things and then just play better because you're playing jank. But it's something to consider. I think at this stage, we're coming up on the half-hour mark. That is time and a half enough to at least try this and see where it ends up. Captain Ahab, version 0.1. He who killed them whale but gets sunk. Which is actually exactly the amount of faith I have in this deck. I tell you guys, as much as I love playing really good decks also, and I love seeing the brilliance other people come up with, there's a joy to be had in intentionally not just playing your best deck, but rather playing whichever deck appeals to your inner soul. All right, so let's take a look at a few random draws. First click, we would draw 3 off the Diesel. Second click, slap down a Telework. Third click, money off the Tele. Fourth click, daily casts. Next turn, we would start up at roughly 6 credits, I believe. We would spark our way into our first rig piece. Draw 3. Immersion Creativity for 5. Drop the boat, get a boat. We have our... Guys, we have boat and whale in credit positive on turn 2. That is such a nuts draw. I don't even know. Let's see if that ever happens again. Do we keep this or not? There's no fast money in this hand, which I hate, but there is a boat right off the bat. I think I would mulligan this, but let me see what would happen if I draw 2. If I had kept it and drawn 2, I could run to go up to 8 credits, slap both of these down, click for a credit or something similar, start the next turn on 2 plus 4 plus a 6 credits, and spark out, draw once, draw twice, spark, and there we have everything. We spark out the whale, and we endurance out the endurance. We were at 1 credit with 12 credit drip coming in, and our full rig ready to go. I mean, not gonna lie to you, the risk of accidentally getting a conduit in that situation far outweighs the pros of just having the whale. One more and then we go live. First click, draw 3. Oh wait, we should be doing this while waiting for the game. First click, draw 3. Tempting to go money, install. Assuming an open server, of course. And that puts us to what? 6, 11, 8 credits. Start next turn on 10. First click, draw 3. And this is the awkward part. We can play Endurance hard and go down to 2 credits. We can keep the whale. Yeah, this is bad. Draw once, draw twice. We get the emergent and we sack the whale to find the other whale. We go to 0 credits because we paid 8 and 2 with 3 recurring on the table, and we have a full rig on turn 2. I think this guy gets endurance plus whale with no money on average on turn 1. And that's really, sorry, on turn 2. And that's really good. Now, that is missing the mod that makes Orca break everything, but that's why we're captain. So we start off with 2 per turn as long as we go army. Let's get down to business and catch a whale. Will this be a success or an epic fail? Okay, I think the prepaids are going to be very interesting to see them in action. I'm very, very sad still that DJ Fenris is not in the deck. So if Poison Violet doesn't pull its weight, it is high on my list of things to chop off. But it may very well prove that, I just have a habit of liking what I like, and it's not the best thing here. Streaming. Bounty Hunter. And create. Allow spectators. Yeah, why not? Always important to warn people that you're streaming. Okay, so Captain Ahab, aka He Who Hunt Them Whales. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If we get paired against Ob Kill, turn 1 Reaper functions and shenanigan kind of things, I don't know what we do. We don't have the financial ability to do anything but set up on turn 1 and maybe 2. We don't have a lot of tricks. We have 0 pinhole threadings, for Christ's sakes. But you never know. Ooh, we're up against a rich opponent that probably wants to get us with money. Good luck, have fun. Testing some fun jank. Okay, so let's see here. We have money with no card draw. We have Spark with a whale in hand. This is an okay opener. I'd rather have money and draw and not have the whale in hand, so I think we mulligan here. Start game. So now what do we got? We've got, there was a setting I was told that always tries to, and let me kill the volume before it acts. I think the volume might actually be off on my recording right now, which is fine. Keep zoomed cards on screen. That was what I've been advised to try, so I will try so. So draw with some fast money and some discarding of stuffs. So our first turn is going to be money, slap this down, money, draw, something like that. And then our next turn is going to be Spark Boat. Draw, fast money. We'll go Archives, and hopefully that compels him to get rid of whatever's in the Archives, or kill the Spin Doctor. Perfect. It's kind of perfect for us, actually. He must have had a bad opener, too, after his mulligan. Slap this down and money up again. Okay, we are moneyed. What's next? We can now actually, guys, we can click for 3, slap down, and be ready to go for the whole game. Like, we literally already have our full rig in hand and the money to pay for it. Question isn't can we, the question is should we? And I don't think we should yet. I see no compelling reason yet. Let's draw once. Okay, now we should. We go money, boat, and spark. We haven't run, so it's okay to go poor. Money, boat. Well, you know what, though? If I draw the ability to discard the boat to pay for a free boat, then I'd be better off doing that instead. I think I might be overthinking this. Let's save the boat for the turn I intend to run with it. He doesn't need to know I have a boat yet. The thing is, I really want to play this combo immediately, while I still have lousy cards in hand. But yeah, let's just draw once more. Okay, cool, that's fine. One of these is probably an agenda that he scores, and I'm okay with that. I probably don't want to show that I'm on Orca right away. That probably makes him not want to install sentries and res them. I probably want to put the boat down first, and then... Yeah, I probably want to put the boat down first in general. I don't know. If I do cut an immersion creativity, and I replace it with NFL, that's 3 credits instead of 8, but that's still money. Okay, so he doesn't want me to get in there, whatever that is, so clearly I have to get in there. What if I go money, boat, overclock? I'd probably get in. It's probably not a trap. It's an upgrade, and I don't know what upgrades it could be that he wouldn't have rezzed already. He put it out naked. Oh, this is the upgrade. This is the agenda? I don't know. I just don't know. I think we go money. Straight boat. Overclock? No. We're playing into his hands. We don't have to do anything. Why are we working so hard to get in when he isn't even threatening us? Let's just take this slow for a second. Draw. This is 1 meat damage or 2? This is 2. 1 meat damage is 2. Okay, so draw once. Does this work? Can I go 1, 2, 3, prevent? Maybe. It's not worth it, though. We'll take the 1 in 5 that we hit the accelerated. No, that's terrible. Take the reduced hand size like a man. There you go. I now am drawing to 1 out to find my other... that was not the block button. That's the block button. We don't need random deliveries to make this channel interesting. Yeah, I made a huge goof there. Obviously, I could have run server 2, but that's not a huge goof. That's a small goof. No, the huge goof I made was installing the base solar before I needed to. It makes me poor at a time I don't need to be poor. It puts me at kill range against a corp well known for killing, and it means I discard my kill protection. None of those are smart moves. Draw, mass draw. Oh, Christ. Draw again. Yeah, we don't have anything to do. I need money more than anything else. And I'm not getting it by any means here. I can free overclock my way in, but I don't need to. Do I literally just click for a credit and discard the Orca? I kind of do, don't I? Yeah. Draw once, click for credit. Click for a credit, it's more important right now. And I think we have to make a run just so that we build boat counters, but I'm terrified of being tagged in this situation and then killed. And because I took the core damage, that's not going to go away. I went the wrong way around. I should have... Well, we can discard this because the only thing it works on is in my hand. So yeah, let's just credit up again and discard a bunch of stuff we don't need. We don't need this. We don't need a spare Orca anytime soon. And if I didn't overclock now, I'm not planning to anytime soon, so we can get rid of that too. Okay, good. I think he'll advance something here. He really should, at any rate. Don't know what, though. Malaport data. Okay. Well, you've got money. There's no arguing that you have money. So how do I contest redonkulous sums of money? I don't have to run, so don't run. Just draw cards until you find what you want. Right. Run-based economy, that's what I find. Actually, all I have to do is get to 8, right? And then I can just wipe tags if I really want to. That's a good point. That's what I should do. Unless there's a snare or something. Oh, oh, that's lucky. Yeah, now I have enough to remove the tags. So what do you want from me, sir? If you make me go to 1 credit, I'm not really that much worse off than I was before. And it'll cost you 10 for the privilege. I'm game. Okay. That I was not ready for. Economic warfare is more than I was ready to deal with. But I actually have no resources. If I draw once, oh, I can't draw out of a kill range. It's actually impossible. So we remove, credit up, remove, but I'm still vulnerable. Draw, credit up, and remove. Let's make the assumption that we want to at least not be vulnerable to... No, it's okay. If we're dead, we're dead. Let's just take it on the chin. I mean, at this point, I deserve it. I didn't have to be core damaged here. Yeah, GG. Well done. GG. Did you have the boom? Or just... I mean, it doesn't really matter because we made the choice between 1 tag or 2, and yeah, we were never going to remove both. Makes sense to me. I definitely could have played that better. Didn't see the economic warfare risk. But GG. Okay, so let's review. What went right this game? The rig came down in 2 turns. What went wrong this game? The rig was irrelevant. I broke 0 ice, which means I probably didn't need to install the Orca right away necessarily. But you kind of have to, because if you draw, every Orca you draw brings you closer to the lost condition of you drew both your Orcas. So, oh, we gotta change the name. So yeah, let's definitely run another one of these. Streaming. And Poison Vial was not relevant. And DJ Fenris would have been super relevant. Actually, that's a very fair point. Let's make this the time we switch it the other way around. So now we're going to put in 1 DJ Fenris and 1 less lock condition. And since we have 1, how much is a scrubber? Scrubber's 1, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so 46 cards, no problem. We're a little better against asset spam and a little more sustaining, but a little bit worse against good luck, have fun. FYI, testing some jank. Okay, we are in a semi-danger zone, potentially the most powerful opening hand we've ever seen, but there's a huge risk factor, and that is that I could draw the second whale and have problems. I think we take that risk. We draw 3. We try to play a money card. Then we immersion creativity our way into a boat or something like that by sacrificing first whale. But we really are trying to hit our 3 sparks before our second whale. If we draw our second whale before our 3 sparks, then is there a trick to get them played? Search your stack for a program, a piece of file install. Yeah, you can't install it from your hand. So if we draw 2 whales, I think we have to install one by hand. I don't see another way around it. Also, hello to everybody joining stream. This is game 2. And so far, I have no idea if this is a good deck, a bad deck, or a terrible deck. I know it's not a terrible deck, but I don't think it's particularly. Oh my god, are you serious? Ladies and gentlemen, we just got the best possible thing you can draw in this hand. And we're going to use it. We're going to give him all the credits he likes so that we can play 3 events in 1 turn. Now he has money and we has money. I love it. Draw 3 again, buddy. Okay, we've got it. We got the Spark and we have the EC. Ready to see the jank T2 we've all been waiting for? First click, Spark of Inspiration. Second and third click, Immersion Creativity, pitching a second whale, and dropping a goddamn Endurance. Captain Ahab finds his whale. Whale ho! And this deck does exactly one thing right, and that is finds the whale on turn 2. And that's kind of all it does, so it's very much Captain. And we all know how that story ends. Here's a problem. Drago, install advance, bounce whale to hand. Bounce 2 cards to hand, 18 credit reversal. Game over. So, yeah, don't ever kid yourself that this is a good... Oh my god, we have everything. We have the mods, too. Do we start running? Yeah, why the hell not? I don't need to sweeten the deal anymore. I can just go for it. I can click install mod and then run. And I've got credits. Oh, because he's going to tag and bag me. Yeah, let's draw, install, and not run this turn, and then run next turn. You serious? Game, are you just trying to bait me by saying this is how good your deck can be? You've just given me every combo piece I need. I mean, thank you, but I'm surprised. Yeah, no, we're just gonna go all in on stupid and pre-install every card we need. But then we're gonna go so poor that he definitely tags us. This is a 1 meat, right? Yeah, so we drop this, and then we take the meat, and then we don't install the mod yet. This, we hit the Spark, which is dead, so that's kind of perfect. If we hit an Immersion, we trash... Oh, we can't trash 1 to install 1. We can get the hardware, but we can't get this, so that's fine. So now we actually can just get in anywhere, but he can painfully tax us out anywhere. He's just naming event every single turn, so that's good for us, actually. I'm tempted to just run already. I've got Captain Padma. I kind of should be. There's not a whole lot of deadly ice, but I don't want to get tagged. Yeah, I don't want to get tagged, so we're just going to hold off and make some more money first. When I have a decent nest egg of like 12 credits so I can lose all my money and still have money, I'll be happier. What's this? Oh. He pitched a Bologna. Good to know. Just 1? Interesting. I just assumed he had more. That's not going to be an agenda. That's a daily quest? Are you nuts? Are you trying to let me in? Because unless it's an unrunnable ice, I get in with the boat and I get money. I mean, I guess I'd try it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's run server 1. Break with boat and make some cash. If it's a... Even if I don't get in, I at least get to see what I'm dealing with. Okay, that's what I'm dealing with. Ugh. Ouch. Yeah, there's no good solution to that, is there? I think we let it fire here. I don't think there's actually any way that I'm getting through. I'm not paying that much for boat counters. Yeah, he can have this one. Pay 6, gain 2, get a boat counter. Yeah, not good, not good. And let's keep running this turn. because I definitely want to get my value now that I've committed to a run. So it's a simple ETR. This is actually exactly what my mod was designed to break. I think rather than breaking it now and losing boat counters, we let it fire. No, we're paying one boat counter to get 1, 1, and a 1. It's too good not to go through. We break this. We break this. And this saved me 5 credits on installing the mod early. This is definitely worth it. Ooh, what is this? Purge, trash, gain credits. So it's kind of useless against my deck. It doesn't care about those things. And I think here we literally just click for credits. I know it sounds stupidly slow, but I'm a little worried about how low my credit total is right now, especially in light of the fact that he knows he has lots of money to gain. I need a solution to Endless Eula, and this is where the poison would have been the correct solution. Okay, we can get in here for 4 credits or for 1 click. He didn't hard-hitting news me, which means he's not gonna hard-hitting news me, which means this is the time to show our hand, metaphorically. Is he still naming event? Yeah, okay. So click this, run on HQ, breaking it with this bad boy. Continue to encounter ice, break and the run, and here we have to manually add a counter, and I think we do the counter to the boat because JANKier doesn't have that programmed correctly. Boom, we're in. What are you going to show me? A Bellona. Show me a Bellona. Okay, that's actually better than a Bellona for me. Do stuff or tag, do stuff or tag, do stuff or tag. So now I have a whale target that requires 2, 4, 6 credits to get through. That strength is very inconvenient, but it does charge the boat for 6. So that's still an option. What else do we do here? Do we charge up? If I do this, I'm implying that I no longer think he is likely to kill me with hard-hitting news because I'm willing to go down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 credits. I do think he's able to hard-hitting news me, so let's draw, discarding this bad boy, and we're good. We're going to have 8 credits at end of turn. We've already seen that he runs some JANKier stuff and some Wayland stuff. So 1, 2 influence, plus that red card that I don't remember what it's called, plus the sandstone for 5. Yeah, there's some oddities in this deck to be sure. It's some kind of a Glacier build. I really want to kill this, but I don't think I can get in anything resembling a sensible way with my economy. So let's not do anything too crazy. We did rip 3 points, so we're way ahead. I think this is the turn we have to commit to using some economy. Yeah, or sorry, some economy events. So we drop this, run, spend whatever it takes to get in somewhere. Drop this, run. HQ is correct because it gives me the most charge counters on Wake. Thank God for Wake. I don't have to run Hydra every turn. I can just run it occasionally. Do we pay 6 credits or do we spend 1 counter? Or 1 click? Oh, we're about to get asked a question. This is going to be interesting. Is that true? Is that true? I don't think that's the case because it didn't specify I had to interface. Unless this is like errata or something. I'm not actually sure. because I'm pretty sure this is the same text that Fairchild 3.0. Just looking at the text here. Can spend, clicks to break. That is a serious problem. That actually, oh god, that's a problem for this deck. I wonder, no, but that's still not, it's definitely not showing up in any of the card text. That's a problem. Break any number of sentry subroutines, and break end the run. Yeah, it's still not, sure, but it's, but that's kind of the core of the deck, to click through stuff you normally couldn't easily break. Significant setback in planning stage noted. Anyway, we'll continue to movement. And, well, that's bad. And again, based on my reading of the card, I don't see that says that. But if it's been allotted to that, that does make sense why I haven't seen this combo widely used. Fair, but it's also a +3 boost only. So that still is a big difference from functionally free. We've still got the boat, so there's hope for Captain Ahab, just a little less of it. All right, breaching. We saw that before, we see it again, but this time we'll remember it has 1 influence on it. Now here is the time I would normally play 1 card per turn for maximum prepaid, but he's also getting money off it, so I'm less inclined to be slow about it. I think I play the money now. And yeah, it's all good. And this is probably why he has Purge Virus counters built into his own deck, because he can Sandstone exactly for that here on purpose. Why does he need 34 freaking credits? What is he trying to do that wins with that much money? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, again, I hate when I get something wrong like that, because I feel like I cheated whoever I played with. Lucky it was like only their second game. I think this is the time to go for an R&D deep dig. Like, honestly, I've got all the counters I need. How many counters can you use? Up to 3? So we run, we charge it, we boat/pay our way in. It's 3 strength with the boost, so we can still do this. And I don't want to draw, because I might need to use all the clicks to break. So we're actually going to charge the Wake Implant, so that we don't ever go down to 0 unnecessarily. If you pay 3, he or she immediately encounters it, ignore the ability. Okay, so this doesn't apply to us. We have no means of breaking this except by boost 2 and click, or 2 counters. I think 2 counters makes more sense than boost 2 and click, because we're going to boost and break the next one. So this one we just continue. Boat. Continue to approach ice, continue to encounter this. And this one we break just purely 4 credits to break a Hydra. #feelsgoodman. And we'll power our boat. And breach and access. No Amani Senai threat. All counters used. Are you serious? We are so lucky. We just got 6 points. Woohoo! Enigma Spin Doctor. I haven't trashed his last one. I think trashing his next one seems a little superfluous right now. I would rather he draw into spin at this stage. No, because then he can bury an agenda he doesn't like. I can afford to trash it. Maybe I just do it to break his board state. That seems reasonable. I don't want him to dig for better. I know he's got an Enigma coming. I don't need to know he has this as well. Well, that one we definitely get rid of. He's got enough money and enough server protection to make that a real nightmare for us. Install this, money this, and money this. So we've got all kinds of money coming in. And we're still not playing events until we're ready to play events. So this is kind of what we need. The deck is working. It's not just it's not just jank. It's functioning jank, but it's still jank. That's probably a Biovault. Like we saw one Biovault, so we know his deck runs them. That's probably the other one. He's got a lot of low influence stuffs, and this Sandstone is nasty business. But if you resed a Sandstone off, what did he res off? Steal the Message? Was it the Sandstone? Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't have big ice. This is a cheap ice. It's not a 6 cost or whatever it is. Nuka, draw 3, money up, and we'll take a free click every turn. We'll take a free click every turn. I'm tempted to run HQ and pay the 2, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, we'll run HQ and counter the ice. We can't break it with the AI because it's not actually a sentry, but we can boat through it. I forgot that, by the way. That was my fault. I shouldn't have. This was not necessarily a great play. Oh, that's a bluff that I would fall for every time. I'm really glad we're getting rid of this now. So we now have a charged up boat, charging up Wake Implant. If we run R&D, bring this to 3, Orca, bring it to 4, we can get a triple access again. Yeah, okay, so he's got an... When do we have to decide on using these? When you make a successful, when you breach, you may remove to access them for cards. Can you interrupt my Wake accesses after I spend counters with Biovault? Or is that after the active ability activation? Because I think it is, but I don't know. That's what I figured. In which case, this server is now just really painful to run. It's 6 credits and 6 credits and 6 credits, and if you guess wrong, you lose. But I can let him have an agenda off of it. It's not the end of the world. So we're kind of good here. Maybe this is the turn we go money, money, install, and run. Probably. We're definitely dropping this one. No. Be smart about it. Don't play any events this turn. You can still go one more turn without playing events. So, Beth for next turn. Money for now. Run HQ. And use the last click to break this thing for free. Because this is functionally 2 boat counters that I'm getting back by using 1 click. I would absolutely click for 2 boat counters. So as much as I would like Poison Vial for this, it's not actually, strictly speaking, necessary. Break the end of the run, and counter. Do we put it on boat? I think we do put it on boat here. Or we could put it on Nuka. Have another draw 3 just wait. No. Nuka's not that important. I'm getting 1 card per turn already. Okay, that has been every single time. That is so frustrating to have drawn that card that many times. He's smart, by the way, not purging with it. It wouldn't do much for him for me to spend 2 extra credits every now and then on this board state. Yeah, Beth is fantastic. It gives me the clicks I want, and it's never going to be anything but a click. Okay, so he's smart. He knows the game is an R&D, and he's going all in on protecting R&D. Mercifully, I don't have to contest R&D in anything resembling an urgent fashion. I think I run R&D just to get the captain charge and don't go all the way. Why? How does that help me in any way? I have to run server 1 before I run R&D, because running through all this ice is going to be more taxing than running on this. So let this be the turn I start spending some money. Let's naked run server 1. He counters. Then we money run server 1, trash it. Then we into the depths HQ. Yeah, that's the game. Okay, that's what we do. So let's run server 1 naked. I hate using boat counters on an Enigma. It feels so bad. Do I click through it? How many clicks do I have? Sorry, hang on. Thinking. I think I have the clicks that I can afford to click. No, but it'll cost me even more clicks. It's 2 clicks. Jesus Christ, no. 2 clicks is not worth 2 bow counters. Yeah, okay, so we're doing this. We're doing this, okay. Can you move it? Here we actually pay 6, which is awful. And we absolutely paid through it. And we get end the run, I hope. It'll be very strange for him to do anything else. Is he letting me in? No, okay, good. We're dead, apparently. Stupid whale. Okay, if I now money run my way in with this bad boy, and I know I'm getting in, get credits and a charge, and yeah, this is the money. This is the card. Now we run server 1. Will I have enough credits to trash this? Yes, I will. Okay, good. Counter. We absolutely double click break this, or sorry, double boat break this. Continue to get in. The problem is that we've kind of set ourselves up for him to use this server against us in the future. And that's not good, but it's not a big deal because we're still just dominating the tempo issue, which was the real scary part. Okay, so Dream Nets first. Hey, we got our click bonus. Endurance next. Why not? Into the Depths. We absolutely take the money first. And we don't have any programs in this deck, so it's got to be a charge. And I think it's on the boat. I don't think the nuke needs it badly enough. Wake I'm going to get when I run HQ. The only thing here that is my lifeblood that I can't afford to lose is the boat in terms of being able to get in places. So now we just pitch that. Done. Now we either run R&D immediately to try and win the game, which we could do, or since we've already given him Azmari money, we spend this and go HQ, and bemoan that DJ Fenris is still missing in action. Could we click find DJ Fenris, install DJ Fenris, run HQ? No, because then we wouldn't be able to click through. So we still haven't gotten Darwin money. I mean, sorry, Orca money, and I still want that. So we're going to continue to movement. Oh, we have to break it first, sorry. Break it first, obviously. And counter goes to 6. Here, breach. Okay. Okay. So you either have 3 of those, or I have the worst HQ access block this side of Vegas. I'm not one to complain about the poker gods, but it's literally every run. Honest to goodness, this situation, I'm not worried about a kill package. I think I Baselar. These are the 2 I wanted to hit. This is what I don't, but I can kind of survive even if it hits that. So we go for it. Yeah, that's fine. Unless he's got some really cool shenanigans that I've not seen coming. Also, having 6 clicks on an adjusted deck is kind of the dream of seeing this jank live up to its desired goal. So happy with this game regardless of end outcome. Okay, first click, massively draw. Second click, run, click through, pay through, access the trap, don't worry about it. That's one option. Second option is just let him have it, but what if it's tag punishment? I literally have no way of knowing. There's always a what if. First things first, draw. Okay. Second, I had it as a 1 of in my last build and switched for DJ Fenris this time. Not sure how much, sure what the right answer is. Thus far, this game, it could have saved me like 3 to 4 credits, maybe. So yeah, it's not like a critical. That's something important to remember. The only thing that agenda could be that would be problematic is a 3 advance, give a tag, and boom, do something painful. As long as I don't die, I haven't seen any sign of enough influence to have kill packages. I think I just let him have that one. I mean, I want him to get to at least 1 point, right? So let's hit HQ for now. Let's hit HQ for now. And now we're gonna have to pay a premium to do so. That's fine. HQ first, please. Continue to encounter ice. We now have to pay the ridiculous expense to match before we can break. But once we do that, we do get a counter 7 on the boat, and then continue to movement and breach. I'm not saying there's 3 of them, but I'm not saying it either. What do we do here? Just go placid? I guess we just go placid. Again, we don't have to go fast. Install cache. Show me what you got, buddy. If this is a kill, it's a kill, but I don't think it is. If it's a Drago advance, give a tag, bounce the board. Nope, it's not. He clicked. See, he didn't immediately score it out. So, okay, this is a bluff. It's an NGO front or something. I just flipped the chat and I see this, and it's like, yeah, you guys had this figured out way before I did. It's clearly an NGO front. It's an NGO front he definitely does not want me getting, though. Okay, what is the game plan here? Could he possibly have anything dangerous in HQ that he's going to score out? No, he'd have done it by now. I think I just take the quad axis off R&D here. I mean, why not? First click will draw once, just once. And now we can survive like snary stuff. And then we just go for it, man. I mean, yeah, we never found Steve. I wish we had. This is already above 4. This is the only thing that needs to be upped. Okay, I will pay the toll booth money. Oh, it's already been paid. Great. That's 2 with the whale plus a click. Am I using the whale anywhere else? I'm definitely using the whale here for 2 plus a click, so it's better to use it here and boat through that if I'm still going with that. So yes, match strength and spend the click and the run. And I get my 1 per turn counter to 10 and continue to movement. Continue to approach ice. There's literally no reason not to press it. All right, we boat through that. Yeah, we boat these. It's ironic that Enigma is more dangerous than Archangel. Do we click through this for 2 credits, or do we boat through it for 2? I'd rather have the click and the 2 credits. So we're actually going to boat through it. And then we'll pay our way through the last one. Good. Continue to movement. The last one should cost me 4. He definitely doesn't have a Biovolt in play, so that's what this is. I remember now. This is why we went after the Biovolt all those turns ago, to set up a big win turn down the line. Continue to approach ice. Continue to encounter ice. How do we break this? With the whale, match and fully break. We're gonna squelch this trigger because we already spent this trigger earlier, and it's only the first time. So, yeah, we don't get that trigger, but we did fully break it. And breach. He's gonna thin out R&D as well. He should probably with Biovolt, and I don't know what else. Nope, with things that aren't easily trashable or untrashable. That's smart. And the Spin Doctor, which is too valuable not to include. Okay, good. We go for the full wake access. Echo Chamber. Very interesting to know that that is in his deck. Okay. We pay 1. Yeah, we get rid of those. Oh, there's the game. GG, sir. Thank you so much for the game and the feedback. Let's take a look here. Poison Vial. Second card from the bottom. Looks like I never put Steve in this game after all. So, the adjusted issue is definitely an issue. By the way, youtube.com/bounty hunter SAX streaming is there if you're curious. Sorry. So yeah, that was a really, really good one. As it stands, I'm kind of torn on if this is a good deck at all. On the one hand, I was up against a fair corporation that tried to make money and build big ice servers. So this is kind of the optimal matchup, right? And you'll notice that this corporation rezzed 1 sentry the entire time he was against me, and that 1 sentry I was breaking for 4 credits. On the other hand, the Enigma cost me boat counter or 2 clicks to get through. So clearly there's a disparity in which ice are valuable. It kind of warps your perception of good or bad ice. I guess that's true. I like using the captain to make the big runs. I was assuming I could click plus poison vial get in for 0 credits anywhere. That is clearly not the real ratio. That's true. In this game, I only boosted about 4 or 5 times total all game. Okay, anyway, so this is a side chatting that I shouldn't be when I'm actually actively streaming. So I guess I guess what the one thing that's really important to recognize out of all of this is I didn't actually need. Let's go back to my deck screen. I didn't actually need Poison Vial or DJ Fenris to have constant finance and sustainability. Kasi String, remind me, that's the one. Let me put that up here on the screen. That's the one that gives you not money. That's the one that gives you a point, I think, right? Let me see. Kasi String. I remember being like really hard to pull off. Successful on emotional ends. If you breach the server but stole nothing, you may place 1 power counter. As 4 or more hosted power counters added to your square area as an agenda. Wait, really? Wait, really? Huh. That's really good. That is really, really, really good. I thought Kasi's String was just going to give me 8 credits, honestly, and that's why I wasn't interested, because who cares? Money is fine. I can get it easier than having to run a bunch. But if it's 1 point, I mean, that clutches it out in so many matchups. It's actually not as good in the exact sub game or meta. That's the word, right? Meta. It's not as good in the exact meta we're in right now, because if we were to run the sports medal, they're already constantly giving us extra one-off agendas and punishing us for having them. So that's a problem for me. But on the other hand, against prison meta, Obokata plus not what does JANKier run for their other 5-3? I forget it's called, but there's another 5-3 that JANKier always run for their other 3. Or the 3x Bologna, 3x Degree Mill. Only having to steal 2 agendas is so important that you pretty much always are interested in running a anything that's going to reduce that total. Now, we never want to run a remote just for the sake of running it, Prison decks will always punish you somehow for getting too aggressive on their board state. They'll either be traps, so you don't want to run, or you'll need to trash it now, or else you're wasting tempo, or there will be CTM triggers. It's always a pain in the neck to run the remote. And what remotes corporations make that remote 10 credits or more. So everybody else will never use Kasi string. But we can place 2 charge counters per turn as long as we're adjusted chronotype charging or captain charging. And it's a free card. I mean, it's a 1 credit drop. And we probably only drop this in the matchups where we look at the board and say, this is a 2-2-2-1 situation or a 3-3-1 situation. And there's a lot of those. Those are not the exceptional corp anymore. Thule, HB Kill. Bowery Move, this is a fantastic idea. I definitely think this has a place in our deck. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up the deck. I like this enough that I think, especially considering how many tech cards we're not running, I'd like to have this as a closer. Version 0.p. Who should be killed them whale. He will catch them whale, but get sunk. Good. Beth. Worth her weight in gold. Very good, very good. Citadel Sanctuary should be good. I need to get better at using it. Daily casts, yes. Nuke of Royalic, very good. Actually better than Diesel in some circumstances because it's 6 cards off of 1 instead of 3 cards off of 1. It's more it's 3 clicks for 6 cards instead of 1 click for 3 cards. I just said why it's bad, didn't I? This nets you 5 cards. Diesel nets you 2. Yeah, okay, so no, it's still good. It's still good. And it's rechargeable, but I will almost never recharge it. I think I'm charging Kasi string if it's going to win me games. Otherwise, I'm not charging it. Let me go back. I remember I made a last-minute edit to my deck list here. What was it? I think I swapped DJ in, I swapped Poison out, and I threw in a Scrubber. Ooh, Scrubber is slick. We have to decide, are we more worried about not being able to break ice and needing Poison Vial, or are we more worried about not being able to deal with asset spam and being taxed out on all the expenses of running that I have to pay? If I'm more worried about expense, I throw a Scrubber in. It pays for itself on the first access and is pure money after that. If I'm more worried about being locked out, Poison Vial. And I think that realistically, the most likely way that someone plays against this deck is says, that's what you're doing? Okay, here's a 3 ice server with 3 2-sub code gates. Now, they're very simple code gates, but are you really going to spend 6 clicks getting through it? No. Therefore, you need to spend 4 boat counters and 2 clicks. So you only get to run the server once. I can hurt you so badly in that time. And that's probably how that's how I get dealt with. Probably. So Poison Vial breaks that lock. But then we're talking about an exceptional endgame where the opponent has reached the point that they have 3, 4, even 5 whatchamacallits, ice, right? With multi-sub. Like, let's imagine a realistic HB with Fairchild 3.0 and I forget what it's called, that other nasty one that has 3 subs, can't steal, trash a card, and one other nasty thing, I forget what it's called, that you end up having to break all 3. 2 6 strength code gates that you're not going to triple click through, 12 credits to res. HB can definitely get that up. You click to run, you have 3 or 4 clicks depending on your Basilar Synth Clan status. What do? Do you run into the end? If you run into the end, how are you getting in? You boat counter your way through 1 for 4 counters. You use all your remaining clicks to break the other with the chronotype, I guess. And now you've spent your entire turn and netted and your net loss of 2 boat counters to access the server once. How does Poison Vial help us in that situation? Well, we use 1-2 boat counters and a poison counter, and we use 1 click and 1 poison counter, and we just get through. Actually, that's what we do. We click with the 2 credits and a click gets you through with the adjusted matrix. That's what we're debating right now, Jackson. And absolutely, I think Kasi strings. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you asking what Kasi string is? Let me pull it up again because it's absolutely strong for this deck. Kasi string. The first time a successful run on a remote server ends each turn, you may place a power counter on Kasi string if you accessed cards and stole no agendas. In other words, if you were forced to run the remote, either because the corp was threatening that they might be advancing an agenda, or because there was a do or die run and trash me or else asset brewing or something, you get in, you get nothing for it. It instead of being a fail, you get 1 Kasi string counter. If you get 3 more, you get 1 point. Now, this is way too slow. You're not playing 3 of these and then running a remote 4 times to get 3 points, and your opponent doesn't do anything about it. Wait, are you? No, it's unique. It's unique. Yeah, so you can only install these 1 at a time, even then. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But what you are doing though with Captain Padma is saying, okay, Corby, here's the deal. I'm going to run that remote once that you made cost 8 credits and stick 1 counter. Now that it has 1 counter, the charge ability comes online, and charge reads, add 1 power counter to a card that already has 1. So, since Captain Padma says whenever you run R&D, you get a charge, and Orca says, whenever you break an ice with me, you get a charge, basically. And Adjusted Matrix says, I can break any ice I would like with the Orca as long as I have the clicks to pay for it. I'm generally charging twice a turn. Right, so against a asset spam deck, I drop the Kasi and boom. And here's the best part, I get 1 point. And the best part is the decks that are running mass assets are usually kill decks that are hiding all of their agendas in just a few 3-pointers. So only having to steal 2 agendas is a huge deal for surviving those matchups. Typically. I mean, it's obviously variable. I mean, this is a realistic play. Click, run the remote, get in with and access the Biovolt not Biovolt, the upgrade, the defensive upgrade, the Mana Garm or whatever, diffuse the Hendrik, bait out the NGO, whatever, steal nothing, trigger your Kasi string, get it to 1. Next turn, click run R&D, Padma your Kasi string to 2, Orca your Kasi string to 3. Boom. Kasi string is 1 point whenever I run a remote after that, for the whole game. If I have 2 Kasi strings in the deck, I can do it over and over, but I think at that point we're leaning a little too deep into tech. And I don't know that our Jankometer may not be that strong. We might need a little less Jank at that point. Yeah, nobody's wide enough to make Marathon worth it yet. Do we want a Maker's Eye? I feel like when the deck is working, I don't need the Maker's Eye. When I don't, actually, I was thinking not the Synth Gland, but the Hippocampic needs to take the axe here. Remember, against matchups that care about my hand size, I'm probably not installing Basilar. Every time I'm in the position of having Hippocampic and Basilar against a hand size matters deck, I'm going to be in the kill your darlings shoes of, do I play the Hippocampic and lose the Basilar? Do I play the Basilar and lose the Hippocampic? Neither is a good outcome for the damage. So I think probably... Yeah, exactly. The emergent creativity can help me find what's missing. Honestly, emergent in order is getting me Orca if I already have Boat if I already have Orca, then Adjusted Matrix. Oh, no, you know what? Emergent should specifically be Boat, then Adjusted Matrix. and I should literally hold off on using it on Orca because there's 3 sparks that are dead. Do I go down to 2 sparks? I mean, I know I'm really all in and excited on getting this rig up on turn 2, and I've gotten it up on turn 2 shockingly frequently. Because I can. I'm just curious. Here, draw 5. Okay, I have none of the combo, but all of the money in this hand. So maybe we mulligan this and draw 5. Okay, this is a bad hand. First click draw, 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 draw. Okay, yeah, this is the worst that we've seen so far. Opening hand. Oh, Stone Cold Nuts. Draw 3. Draw 3. Money up to 9. Potential money for next turn. Start second turn at 8. Spark, go down to 5. First click. Second click, draw up. Third click, go down to 4 and go up to 10. Next turn, draw, draw, draw. Okay, so this is the slowest we've gotten. We only have the Orca, we don't have the teletype out. Turn 3. But we do have a ridiculous economic engine. We're getting 2 to 3 credits a turn. We have 1, 2, 3 money events and a tele contract. So it's hard to be upset about even this bad draw. And the boat comes down by turn 4. What is a taco truck? I don't know the reference. Taco? Is it actually? No, it's not called taco truck. I don't know when you joined stream. We just played 2 rounds with it. It was okay. I don't want to say it's good. The worst part is I found out last game that even though the card art doesn't include interface, the errata specifically does say you must interface to use this ability. So suddenly Orca's base strength matters, and it's a base strength of 3 with a boost 3 for 2 credits. That sucks. It's not the end of the world, but it is. Okay, smartware distributor. Let's take a look. Smartware distributor. Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes. We take these. We take these all day. So this is a bad card that our deck makes good. If you ever were going to click for a credit, you use this instead, and then you've clicked for a credit 3 times for the next 3 turns. It's a pad campaign you have to charge. It's also not unique, which means I can install multiples, but I'm not going to juggle that many clicks doing it. If the opponent is running sentries, I agree. If the opponent isn't running sentries, I mean, it's a bottom tier priority. That is actually a really good tech call against JANKier, isn't it? Because JANKier, well, I mean, I guess it depends, right? I mean, if JANKier is playing hit point JANKier, then I guess it's not worth it. But if you're up against enough volume of them, then yeah, definitely I could see that working. Sorry, one moment. Okay, I'm so tempted to play another game, even though I know I shouldn't. It's getting late, but okay. We've got the Kasi string. I like the smartware distributor just because this deck does not do well in the. This is not a rush deck. Maybe that's a point I really should give more thought to. I'm not trying to rush out and win with this deck, and so if I'm not trying to rush out and win, then maybe And apparently I was muted. Well, that's unfortunate. I talk too much. Um, I was just looking through these and trying to think if there was anything else that was tempting. I think here's what we do. We cut a hippocampic. Not only did I not install one, not only is the duplicate bad, but even in the situation where I'm busy charging it, I don't need the hand size in most matchups. Uh, Sanctuary is much better kill protection than just having more cards, unless I'm drowned in tags, and this deck should have enough money to be able to deal with some level of tagging. Poison Vial versus DJ Fenris is a personal choice, and I don't know where I fall on that yet. So far, we've yet to see a deck that made me wish I had Poison Vial. I think the ice that really makes you feel that way are the 3 sub code gates that are painful to break, because you can't just click, 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 click forever. You don't have the clicks for it, and boating is very taxing on the counters. But the difference is, in any matchup where you don't have that problem, DJ Fenris just gets you so much value. Emergent Creativity is roughly worth 5 credit savings and a tutor, so it's really hard to cut this down from 2. And Awake Implant is the only reason I'm winning games right now. 100%. You're right there. Sorry, let me post the recommendation. Yeah, we go with more Nukas and less Dream Nets. I agree. Dream Net is kind of icing on the cake. It's not a mandatory. It adds a little bit of value, but not a ton. And it's painful to play early, so you don't want to find it till mid game. Nuka you want to play immediately. Citadel I don't necessarily need. It's a good. I don't think we need 2 Basilars. I think we're happy to play one if we find it, but it's not like urgent. Unlike the Endurance, where we need to play it early and often. I mean, not often, but Or do we keep the second Basilar and lose one of these bad boys? Nah, I'm always happy to draw these, except maybe. Do we go down to 2 sparks instead of 3? The downside of 2 sparks instead of 3 is that it makes it more likely that we draw the double Orca before spark. It is in fact equally likely that we draw 2 Orcas or 2 sparks. No. We either draw spark, Orca, spark, Orca, spark. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to draw a singleton of this before a singleton of that. I think maybe we can go down to 2. Because it's the only card in my deck that is truly semi-dead once I played 1. Endurance can function as emergent creativity fodder, but Spark does nothing once I've found my Orca. And here's the other thing. I don't want a turn 1 Orca, or a turn 2, or a turn 3. I'm happy to have it, but I'm not actually dependent on it as much as I am the boat right away. I don't know, man. I think the deck is in a decent spot. I mean, it's not a great deck, but it's not a bad deck. If there was one thing I'd love to change, it's this. I would love to get DJ Fenris in here and just recur awesome stuff over and over, but I can't afford to lose the Wake Implant. It's just too powerful. It's 7 cards worth of accesses last game. And I don't think there's a lot else that occupies that niche, not just in faction, but in general, that would make it worth swapping out. All these are consoles. Prepaid voice pad felt very slow to pay out last game. Prepaid voice pad felt very slow last game. This is a really good point. In a pinch, I can always use the emergent creativity as a spark. If I found the boat early and not the other way around. Yeah. Rules question. If you install Gebrselassie, host it on Orca, and then install Adjusted Matrix, does that work? I mean, it's not worth it. Just to be absolutely clear to anybody who's following, thinking, "Oh, that's a good plan." That's a terrible plan. Now you're worrying about the order of installation on multiple things, so that in the odd chance that you're boosting strength of Orca twice, you also, can preserve that strength. It's just better to pay 2 credits and have to be flexible. But I just find that interaction hilarious if it's true. All right, what to do here, guys? I think at this point we take it for another swim. The only thing that really comes down to is, do I want my pet card, or do I want to be good, or do I want to be fun? And I think I want fun more than good. But imagine the scenario where I cut Poison Vial and put DJ Fenris in, and I'm so happy. And then HB installs a giant Fairchild 3.0 right on HQ. And now every turn I have to say, I could have clicked, spent a Poison Vial counter, and gotten in, using the Orca. Instead, I now have to Orca to get one Steve trigger. That's not worth it. Or I have to spend 4 counters from boat. That's not worth it. So basically, congratulations, HB, you just shut me down. So yeah, it's more important to get in than to be rewarded for getting in. It is secondarily important to be rewarded for getting in. If another cut has to happen, it needs to be emergent creativity goes down to 1, and this deck finds another way to be consistent without it. And that's not what we're doing right now. Right now, we are doing Captain Ahab, and I think we're going for one last round, guys. One last round. Let's edit this bad boy. Version 0. You catch them whale, but get sunk. Captain Ahab. I think Overclock is less good than Into the Depths. Except I can play this against Acid Spam, and I can't play this against Acid Spam, so maybe not. Okay, yeah, we're walking. Streaming. YouTube.com says bounty hunter SAX. By the way, I stream on Twitch, but I also stream on YouTube. I'm not sure where people tend to prefer to go. It looks like I get people from both sources, which is great. Generally speaking, I try to keep my good luck, have fun. I try to keep the running backlog of my games in one place, and that's YouTube. Oh wow. Okay, so Pravdivost, don't run or else. Versus I have a turn 1 boat and nothing else, and some cheap money. I think we keep this. I think turn 1 boat means in the worst case scenario, I hard install a boat and I'm in good shape. Which, by the way, means I didn't need emergent creativity this game, necessarily. So here the first turn will be run for money, a prepaid run for money, then Into the Depth, then Smartware Distributor. That's click intensive, and it's all focused on not getting killed. He will almost certainly be running that ice that costs you 3 credits no matter what you do. Not Tollbooth, the other one, Musty Jetsvo, which makes me wonder if there's room for a Hunting Grounds in a version of this deck that isn't on Poison Vial. I don't know the strategy that Pravdivost does. I assume it's tricks and traps, but we'll find out. If I can find and get down my... Sorry, I just got quiet because it occurs to me that all of these could be traps that get 1 counter on them, or agendas. And I think now is the best time to just go checking. So if we go prepaid, Dirty Laundry R&D, run and access one of these, run and access the other, that's not unreasonable. Dirty Laundry against R&D. And let's see which one he chooses to advance. That will be very telling. Oh, now we know when the Metsdigesvo comes, it's going to be 2 credits and 2 clicks to break with the whale, and plus 3 credits, so it's going to be 5 credits to get through with the whale. That's god-awful. So it's always going to be 3 credits and 2 boat counters for that one, probably. Worst that could be is you get tagged situation. That is pretty bad. I don't know that I'm ready to deal with that right now. I think we run server 2 for... No, we run server 1, and if we get tagged, so be it. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Server 1, come on. What are you going to do? 2 damage? Urtica? There you go. That's the way, sport. We click to go to 8 credits here and dare him to hard-hitting use a guy on 8 credits, go completely broke to win the trace, and then I just go broke to respond. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, he actually is doing it. Damn. Does he have to show me what he gets? Yeah, an operation. Okay, good. So he has to reveal it. Economic warfare. Damn it, I fall for this every time. And he probably has the hard-hitting news too. Yup. Jesus. Okay, well, this is bad. This is really bad. Ah! Oh. I was just thinking / saying how dead I was to HHN now. Okay. So we draw once, draw twice, draw again, or take the hippo. If we hippo and hit our boat, it's very sad. I think we just money up here, honestly. We can get 1 credit net gain next turn, or 1 credit net loss next turn, but then gain 2 credits the turn after. This one breaks even faster than this one, doesn't it? It's just a little more click intensive. Yeah. We didn't run, so I'm not too worried about him having shenanigans to punish us. We're just going to take it slow until he shows some sign of doing more than just killing us. I mean, this gaslight into econ warfare with HHN kind of tells you that his game plan is to do some shenanigans to get me heavily tagged. Once heavily tagged, he can bounce the boat back to hand. So going broke just to get the boat down is a bad play. He's in faction NBN with gain-free advancements ability, so he'd be a fool not to be playing Drago, so he probably is playing Drago, so that's always going to be a risk. I don't have the ability to get into the remote this turn. If that's a Drago, he just double advance Scorches. I'm basically vulnerable to it. Draw. I think we have to risk the HHN here. It's probably a Rashida. It's probably not anything else. So yeah, I think we risk the HHN here. Just to get some money on the table and go up to 8 again. He might have his second HHN, but... Or he might have his second Econ Warfare, but he also might not. Alright, there we go. That's as many resources as I'm going to install anytime soon. If it's an artificial crypto crash, I'm up to 3 credits already. If it's a Rashida, well, it's not a Rashida. If it's a Drago, that's not good. But he can't scorch me to death yet, so there's that. Is he going for a boom win? Okay, this game just went off the rails completely for me. I don't have the ability to get untagged anytime soon, which means I could just be staring death in the face here. But let's stop thinking of having fun and playing a jank game and start thinking of how we win from this position. In order to win, we need to not lose. Only after we have not lost can we worry about winning. That means installing the boat right now is a waste of time. I'm not trying to get in. I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to not lose. There's a Mesty Chesvo on one of these servers, probably here. This is unknown. This is unknown, but installed at a time where it's probably sufficient to keep me out, or at least to make it painful to go in. I'm already tagged, so putting tags on me doesn't matter. Sorry, thinking. If I try to purge all these tags, I still lose, because 0 credits is unwinnably bad. He could and is on boom. Let's just not doubt that for a second. If he is not on boom... So since I don't care about the boat yet, Kassi's string could help me win the game eventually. but not with 5 tags when he can trash it whenever he likes. I would have to install it and then empower it fully in one turn. So we're just going to have to accept that Kasi is out. This is the time to install this. We didn't draw the diesel that we desperately needed there. But we're above scorching, we're just not above booming yet. So if he booms us, it's game. If he doesn't boom us, we have a hand size of 7. So he either booms us, and he didn't boom us on the first or second, so he's probably not going to boom us without drawing for it. Oh, he did boom us. Just took him more than a second. GG. I was pretty sure I was going to. You know, I mean, not specifically that, but I knew I lost if I cleared tags. Only real out was high hand size. That's what I was drawing for. But yeah, Jank versus Tagstorm is not going to end well. So let's actually take this moment to do some really important philosophizing. Let us say hypothetically that I had Citadel Sanctuary in my opener. Would it have saved me? I would have installed it, for sure, knowing what I'm up against. It would have gotten trashed by Drago and bought me 1 turn. Yeah, it would have gotten trashed by Drago and bought me 1 turn. It wouldn't actually have won me the match. If I had no free lunch in the deck, would it have saved me? Not really. I'd have had to install it. It would have saved me from the first tag and bought me a turn, but this deck doesn't have enough speed and tempo to catch up. So really, I think this is not a deck that's going to contend well with that. You could try to rebuild around that and say, if I see tag matchups, I just don't worry about it, and I go on to the next match. And if that you take that attitude, then you don't have to tech for it, which means you don't have to keep the Citadel Sanctuary at all. But no, I would hate to take that attitude and just give up like that. Let's review. I got Economic Warfare. Because I got Economic Warfare, I went to low credits. I made a bunch of money back as fast as possible, but I took a run that put me at risk of getting HHN, knowing that I would be at 8 credits, and then instead of being 4 tagged, I was 5 tagged because of the Drago play. So yeah, I didn't have to take that risk. I could have chosen instead to not recover economy quickly, clicked up a little longer, solidly put down my 7 hand size, and then prayed that he didn't have the ability to trash Hippocampic to hand as NBN, which I know he does. I wonder, because I don't play enough prison decks myself, I wonder what it's like to play a prison deck. Are you basically terrified that you'll never be able to win, and you're only hoping to use your gas to take out the runner? If so, can you take the mental attitude of, I only am trying not to lose, to play against these decks, and then you win? I'm wondering if there's a way to play this jank against a corp that's going to tag and kill me, rather than having to use a better deck. In any event, now my time is actually up. This is getting close to the 2-hour mark. Thank you all for coming out and watching so much. I really, really appreciate it. Please do like, subscribe, join my my channel, etc. It's wonderful to have folk here. I'm on the Discord for DLC. I'm on the Reddit for Netrunner, and I'm continuing to have an absolute blast playing this game. I will probably run some more Ahab. I think the deck, when it goes off well, like it did in Game 2 of the stream, is very, very fun to play. It's fun to watch. It's interesting in how it interacts with players. And now that Kasi String is in it, I think it has the opportunity to be like, oh wow, I didn't even know you could do that territory. I don't think that Earthrise is the right card for this deck, but I don't know that it's not. I could see a card like that being interesting. Ooh, do I want an Earthrise? No. But it's just so rare to have a shaper that can put down this many charge counters. The thing that will probably make this deck better is jettisoning the Spark of Inspiration angle, finding a different way to cheat out my Orca, or just accepting that I'm not cheating it out. Something like a test run rejig, right, where you install it for free and then you trash and install it to keep it, or a concerto play to get it off, and then, or just paying hard cash when it's appropriate. I mean, right now it's 10, 15, 23 credit rig, which is which I have 3 copies of here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of 3 copies of 3 copies of here, 2 copies of here, and 2 copies of either one. That's why it's so consistent. But it doesn't have to be that way. I could actually just ditch this spark aspect and focus on programs that make my deck better, right? Even some basics, even if you keep the philosophy of the deck the same, but you put in like 2 flux capacitors and a cheap AI breaker, that would be a huge, huge boost in the right direction. What would absolutely be mind-blowingly good in this deck is something like an Amaqua, right? Where it's just, run a couple times and then you'll start getting in all the cheap stuff you can break for 1 and 2 credits. All the mid stuff or any sentry you can blow out. But that's not the point of installing Adjusted Matrix. If you put Adjusted Matrix down, Orca is your AI breaker, and that's how you're getting in everywhere. I wish Orca was a code gate breaker, not a sentry breaker. Like, that would change everything. Then you immediately go down to 1 emergent creativity, build this out of kit, right? You have 3 Orcas and 2 endurances instead of the other way around. You might not even need Adjusted Matrix at that point. Then you add Ngolo, and you're actually okay with Spark of Inspiration hitting Ngolo or Orca. Either way, it's a savings and it's a search of your deck and a free install. And, buddy, you got a stew going. Is there anything that consistently paints things as sentries? I don't think there is. I think that you're stuck with this. You could potentially make some kind of Orca triple Kalungi deck, but that's just not consistent enough. Anyway, the deck is Captain Ahab. The concept is, as you have seen, and I will throw this onto the playlist on YouTube and add some more runs at some point. Thank you so much for watching. I had an absolute blast with playing and building with y'all. I hope you had a good time watching, and I'll see you guys next time.